Hello, I'm Ross, and welcome to today's live session all about health and tech, brought to you by the Barclays Digital Eagles. At Barclays, we have 18,000 Digital Eagles. We're passionate about passing on our digital knowledge and skills to our colleagues, customers, and local communities so we can all benefit from the ever-changing digital world we live in. Today, over the next hour, with the help of some of my fellow Digital Eagles, we're going to be bringing to life how technology can help us stay fit and healthy. We'll be exploring the various tech and resources you may want to consider using to personalise your exercise, structure your workouts, track your goals, and boost your mental as well as your physical well-being. The Digital Eagles joining me will share their personal thoughts, insights, and top tips. You can ask questions and make comments using the live chat option. We'll be monitoring these as they come in and will answer as many as possible. Firstly, let's briefly imagine the world of health and fitness before the introduction of technology. Today, we wouldn't think twice about accessing the internet on our laptop, smartphone, or tablet, and having the luxury to do this pretty much anywhere and anytime. Before the introduction of the internet, 4G and Wi-Fi, most people would have relied on the guidance in books, magazines and videos to keep fit and healthy. We certainly weren't blessed with apps to access relevant content, advice or online videos. It's safe to say technology has revolutionised the world of health and fitness, and this has given us the added motivation to get active. There are so many gadgets and online resources at our fingertips. So let's now explore some of the key topics that we'd like to discuss. And the first one we're going to talk about is healthy eating. We all know the importance of having a balanced diet to maintain our health and well-being. There are endless websites and apps that help us to eat healthy at the touch of a button. Now, to talk about healthy eating, I'm going to introduce Katie and Christian first of all.
Hi.
Hi, Ross.
Hi,
You're
guys.
on.
So the first question, Katie, to you, if I may, is what resources or tech do you use to support with maintaining a healthy diet?
I probably use tech and resources on a daily basis. There is so much out there, from personalised nutrition plans designed uniquely for you and your own goals to government guidelines on eating healthy. For me personally, I use It's a Meal Plan, so I like to plan in advance the meals, so what I'm going to have for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and I use internet searches, I use apps, I use social media for those kind of inspiration and useful hints and tips that I can sort of plan into the week. On a daily basis, I use an app to log my food, so it's like a daily food log, and I can input all the meals that I've had throughout the day. The great thing is I'm able to scan what foods I'm eating. So if it's not a recipe that I've inputted to the app, I can use the camera that's on my phone, I can scan the barcode and it brings up the nutritional information and the tracking of the calories. So I know exactly if I'm overeating, I'm undereating, or I'm sort of on track, and it really does help me keep structure. The days or weeks where I'm really organised, I can plan 2-3 days in advance and go in and log what I'm planning to eat to help keep me on track. Alongside that, I also use water consumption apps, so I'm able to then log as well the water that I'm drinking. For me, I think for a lot of people, we spend a lot of time really busy lifestyles, whether that be with friends, family, or work, and we can forget to eat the right way, let alone put enough water into our bodies, which is really important. So by having that app, I can set myself little goals of what I want to be drinking throughout that day, and it can remind me and I can track my water consumption. The really great thing is I've been able to input the different size bottles I've got at home and the milliliter or literage of them, and then once I finish a bottle, I can go in and say, yeah, okay, I've drank that, and it helps keep me on track, and it's built some healthy habits for me, really. And yeah, so those things I kind of use on a daily basis to help keep you on track. And also what's really great is I can set them to have notifications, whether that comes through on my smartphone or my fitness tracker or smartwatch. I can have a little reminder to say, you know, have you drank, have you logged what you had for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner? And sometimes it's a good reminder to go and get that extra glass or bottle of water. So for me, technology is really important in maintaining a sort of healthy, balanced diet.
Wow, Katie, I'm sitting here and feeling pretty guilty right now, and there's probably a lot I can learn from you. I've got a question. I've got my own question for you, and that's people talk about having a cheat day. Um, what do we mean by that? And is that something you do?
In terms of cheat days, I think that's where we throw a little bit of caution to the wind. And when we're really good, majority of the time, there's that little bit of cheat day where you don't necessarily track your calories. And I definitely am a party to that. If I know there's a social occasion, I'll be really good throughout the week so I can go and enjoy a few drinks at the weekend and eat what I want. So that's kind of, they call it cheating on your diet, but it's, for me, it's all about having that balance. And I don't ever want to rid something from my diet completely.
Yeah, sounds great. I think I'll enjoy that days. The others I need to work on. So let's move over to Christian. What's your thoughts in terms of healthy eating? What does that mean for you and the tech that you use to help with that?
Yeah, so I think I'd agree with everything Kate has said. I think I've always been interested in food, maybe a little bit too much. I like to have a look and understand a little more about recipes and I guess how you can make it fun. I think where it kind of resonates for me and where tech's really supported. A few years ago now, I found out I was gluten and dairy intolerant, which hearing that kind of made me think, well, what does this mean? It felt like so many foods included those two items, and a lot of them seem to be the nice foods as well. So for a limited time, I think afterwards you become very sort of limited. It was quite daunting, really. What does this mean? And I was eating the same sort of foods over and over again. And I think that's where then a lot of different forms of technology just open your eyes really to, I guess, the variations that are out there. And actually, food doesn't need to be boring. It can still be very interesting. You can absolutely work through with any form of intolerance or dietary requirement now to have a look at what works for you. And like I say, for me, it's meant I can absolutely carry on enjoying food. I understand, I think a lot more about food now because of the technology that's available as well. And I know and understand, I guess, what I'm choosing to feed myself, which is, like I say, absolutely critical for me because without or putting the wrong things in, I know it's not gonna go too well. So tech's been a big one. It helps me maintain that healthy balance, but really make sure that I'm avoiding the bits that for me just don't work, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. That's really useful. So we're going to move on to the next section, and we're going to talk about smart speakers. So smart speakers, have you ever considered using a smart speaker to help you get fit, eat well, or even sleep better? A virtual assistant can do so much more than tell you the time, date, and weather forecast. So it may be time to get to know your speaker a little more. Smart speakers provide so much information and guidance, especially when it comes to your well-being. So let me introduce Asif and John to the conversation now.
Hey.
Hey, you right?
Hi guys, all good. So it would be great to explore how, first of all, Asif, how you stay on top of your physical and mental health, and how a smart speaker can enable you to do that.
So there's a lot of functions that smart speakers have. If you are new to using a smart speaker, you could ask the simple question of around how to keep fit at home, and you'll get a list of different ways that can actually help you to maintain a healthy lifestyle and also fitness plans. There's also sort of workouts that you can choose from, and if you're not sure, you can actually take a quiz, and that quiz will then pick a suitable plan for you. Then you can pick a plan that suits your lifestyle and the way you live and how it can help you that sort of way. You can try the guides that are available. So there's guides to fitness. You can set up plans that way. You can set up brief workout sessions, which are sort of cardio based or core strength based. And these workouts can be done in a short space of time. So you could have a quick workout where you just want a bit of metabolism burning and just so it can help you. You've got 5-minute workouts, and they're known as little boost sessions that can help. You can actually have a personal trainer, a virtual trainer assigned to yourself. So by doing so, that person can actually motivate you and energize you to do well. Saying that, you could also set playlists. So you can set your own music playlist, which will help you become more motivated and energize you more to do the workouts itself. there's always different sorts of speakers that are available, and the best thing to do to get the guidance that you need is check online and see what is suitable and what your speaker can actually do.
Yeah, that's great, Azif. Thanks for that. Really good to share. And John, for you, what does it help you to do?
I use it a lot for the notifications to remind me that I haven't been active, because you can sync it up to all your different smart devices, but at the same time, trying to keep myself away from the screen. So it's always good to be notified, like, right, okay, I need to set myself up for my workout and have that playlist kick in, right, okay, let's get sorted. So it's just, keeping on top of it and being reminded wherever I am in the house. Because I can hear it throughout. That's one of the things I like about it. And just to kind of build upon what Asif said about the different types of like motivational coaches, I'm one who needs someone to tell me, no, crack, get it done. So the fact that you can just differentiate the type of coaching you get based on the voice that comes through the speaker is just brilliant.
Yeah, that's great. So as if one of the questions that we've had come in before today's session is, how can technology help me create my fitness plan? What can it actually do for you?
So, like I said previously, you can have mini quizzes. So these quizzes will indicate what suits you as a plan. You can then pick and choose what plan you would want and what workout you require, whether it's a strength workout, cardio workout, focusing on certain aspects of your body, core, whatever you need. You can actually pick from that and choose it.
Excellent. Yeah, great. I think one of the things we definitely need to mention is with your smart speaker, what you can do, one of the commands you can do, you can simply just ask, how do I keep fit at home? And that will give you a whole range of information and guidance to help you. But we would also recommend that based on the speaker you have, you need to perhaps do your own research to understand exactly the commands that you can use that can really bring your smart speaker to life and help you with your fitness plans, as you've both mentioned. Really useful. Thanks very much, guys. So we're now going to move on to smartwatches and fitness trackers. So a smartwatch or fitness tracker could help you improve your fitness goals. This includes tracking your steps, distances traveled, and added motivation to keep going. If you're new to using these devices, we've got a few points that we'd just like to cover before we go into the discussion. So firstly, there are a wide range of watches and trackers to choose from to suit all budgets and preferences. So we recommend doing some online research to choose what's best for you. Many fitness trackers and smartwatches will pair with what we call a companion app on your smartphone. If the fitness tracker or smartwatch does connect to a smartphone, check the device you want is compatible with your existing make and model of smartphone before you buy. You may also need to download the companion app for the device. But once you've installed the app, you need to set up your account, and then you just need to pair your smartwatch or fitness tracker with your smartphone. This pairing will enable you to view your health and fitness data via the app. And you're now ready to make use of the technology and get active. So we've now got John and Christian who are joining us to talk about their thoughts on smartwatches and fitness trackers. And let's start with John. We've had a number of questions that have come in on a similar topic here, John, which is, how can you make the most of your smartwatch or fitness tracker? What is it that you personally do?
I purposely got a smartwatch to track my health, and I use it mostly for like the notification settings that you can get through it. So throughout the day, you will be notified if you haven't stood up or done some physical activity around the house or wherever you are. So it's particularly during the working day, and if you're sat in front of a computer for a long time, you'll get a notification once every hour saying time to stand up. And it's those little things that I love about it, as well as obviously keeping track of calories that you've burned or how many steps you've done, which is one thing I'm quite competitive about, is making sure I try and get my 10,000 steps in a day. So I definitely use it to for the notifications, particularly around standing and breathing. Quite a lot of mindfulness. It reminds you as well to try and get at least a minute in every hour, because that can help with your mental health. It can help with distress. It's great. There's so many different things you can just investigate and explore with different smartwatches.
That's great. And for you, Christian, anything different in terms of how you make the most of a smartwatch or fitness tracker?
Yeah, so I guess I'd echo everything that John said already. I think one of the obvious bits for me is actually just the ability to stay connected, and I mean that in a few different ways. I think obviously you've got the choice, but I really like the fact that a lot of us, we live and breathe on our phones now, or on our technology, to keep us kind of up to date with what's going on, and actually being able to get away. You've got it on your watch, and you've got the choice. Then, if you want to have it there, you want the calls, texts, emails, and things coming through, you absolutely stay connected. If you've also got the ability to switch that off and properly get out. So I think you're totally in control with what that looks like. So truly staying connected there. I think I also like the fact that it helps you stay connected with friends and with family. So, whether you're competitive or not competitive, I think actually going into different sort of challenges and different things with your friends will actually sometimes drive you on that little bit more. You know that they're there to support you and spur you on. And I think that's a real nice way. It enables you to have a bit of sort of friendly, like I say, competition or banter, if you like, with them, and kind of drive each other on. So that's really important to me. I think some of the functions, if you like, again, I'm quite a competitive person, so I really like the fact that, you can look and really truly track a history of what you've done. It can show you your progression. It can also show you, I suppose, where things haven't quite gone so well, and you can track that. But having that at the moment kind of information, I guess, right there on your wrist, if you are going out for a longer walk or a run or a cycle or anything like that, really is fantastic. I think the ability to get out and have it all right there is really, really important.
Yeah, excellent. Totally agree. And Christian, one of the questions we've had from Ben on social media is, do you use any sort of performance or heart rate tracker specifically?
Yeah, so yes, and you can. I think what's, again, lots and lots of different things out there. Really great, I think, when you are starting to, I guess, track what you're doing and understand kind of the progression that you've made. So you can go from just looking at the very simple, what is your heart rate telling you as you're out there on your activity or exercise, whatever that might be, right up to real advanced things. You can get sort of what that performance means, how long it's going to take you to recover. And again, all of these factors, I think, play in. It can determine the time, the different time that you actually go out for the activity. It's amazing to start to see the differences that you'll see. So it can absolutely benefit you if done in the right way. I have to say that's where tech, I suppose, gives you that extra layer, if you like, an extra level of information that we wouldn't have had before. It would have all been on feel before, whereas now there's so much information right at our fingertips based on what we can wear.
To caveat of that, sorry Ross, just to jump in, I think that's a great thing as well, because what I've noticed when I started doing some running utilising the watch, different days I was doing it at different paces, and I didn't understand whilst I was so tired, and I could share that information onto social media, and I got people who I know who are in running groups who are like, look, your heart rate, mate, that's why your pace is too high. It's just the different things you can do with the different devices syncing up.
It's great. It's the opportunity to stay connected again, isn't it? I know for me with friends and with family, as I say, actually sharing that data and sharing that information, it's fantastic to be able to do it, compare how you are compared to a friend or a family member. And like I say, if that doesn't give you that extra bit of drive and motivation, if you like, to just get out there and do something, I think nothing more. So it's a great opportunity. And actually, like you say, John, sharing it on social media, I know of a lot of people who have actually made additional more acquaintances, because actually they've got that common goal and something that they're driving towards. So again, it opens doors that perhaps weren't there before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I like the competitive side. So, my wife, I'm a bit of a night owl. She'll tell me how many hours sleep she's had. So that sleep tracking function within a fitness tracker, I think, is really useful. She certainly gets more sleep than me. But my two young boys, they both have fitness trackers. Not something I probably thought that they would want or would like, but actually it really helps them to have fun with me. And they'll say, how many steps have you done today, Dad? And it just reminds me that, yes, I need to step away from that screen and perhaps do something, whether that's with them or even just individually have a walk around the block. And then my mum, she'll just say to me, but does it tell the time? Absolutely. It does the basics, but it does so much more as well.
It does.
Thanks both. That's been really useful. So
Thanks, Ross.
we're now going to move on to apps. So we've already covered some of the apps and what they can do for you. But we want to go into a bit more detail, and there are so many out there that you can download to support with your health and fitness. So let's introduce again Katie and Asif to talk about the apps. And Katie, if we start with yourself, could you talk about the type of apps that are available, and I guess, what can they do, things that we may not have mentioned so far?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there is an app for absolutely everything, depending on what kind of exercise you're looking for, what kind of workout. There will be an app to suit your need and your want. Some will be free, some you'll have to pay for. So that's, again, down to personal preference. But always use an app that's a trusted app. So from a well-known app or a well-known brand, just be safe in what you're doing. But there really is apps for absolutely everything, whether you're a beginner starting out and you want to follow a set program, or you're slightly more advanced, there will be an app to suit you. Popular, or if you're, for example, into running, for instance, and you're a beginner to running, there are apps available where you've got that audio coach that can take you out while you're on your run and keep you motivated throughout. You've got ones that can just track your runs, and you can share them with friends and family. Again, with sharing with others, make sure you're comfortable with what you're sharing. So with all apps that have that sharing sort of platform, go into the settings and just make sure you're comfortable with how it's set up and what you're sharing, because it's not mandatory, but it's up to you what you put out there. But there really is a wide range of apps for absolutely anything, in terms of fitness, exercise, anything like that.
Lovely. Thanks, Katie. Asif, what about yourself?
So people who know me will know that I've previously gone through a bit of a health scare, which prompted me to look after my health and get a bit more fit. And apps have done that. So through the use of apps, I've managed to lose 9 stone, just over 9 stone. And that's basically me doing my research, finding out what each app does and how that can affect me and help me in a positive way. So there are running apps that are available, and there's apps where you can get training buddies on there, offering sort of audio coaches, so that you are able to achieve a set goal. So you can set your goals and aspirations on there, and then be able to set a weekly, daily target of how much you want to achieve to get to that stage. You can also set up applications where you're running them as a family. So with your wife or with kids, you can set up an app where you're sort of integrating all 3 of you or 4 of you or how many there are, and compete against each other and see how well you're doing, whether it's a step count, whether it's going for a jog, whether it's aerobics or yoga. You can actually do it as a family as a whole. Again, just as Katie said, make sure the apps are actually, you've checked and done the research to know that they are safe to use, and the sort of reviews you've had have had a positive impact depending on what you want them for. Extra inspiration, again, what John and Christian were saying in regards to sharing information. So my wife sort of shares her fitness tracking with a friend because they've both got the same app. And you can do that with friends and family. So you can share that information and gives you that bit of a competitive edge, so that you're sort of competing against each other. You don't have to necessarily be in the same household. You could be in different countries, but you're using the same application and registering it to know where you are. And that gives you that push to do more and to push yourself more. Which is really good. And if you look at the current situation we're in, we're stuck indoors. But with us being stuck indoors, there's a lot more that we can do. And we've got access to all these applications, devices, where we can use them to utilize the stuff we have inside the house to make sure we are staying fit and staying active.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, love all of that. Really good. So like we said, certainly apps for everyone, and I think it's very much about doing your research and obviously keeping those apps up to date, because as you keep them up to date, they offer more in terms of features and benefits. So really useful. Thank you both. So next we're going to talk about online classes and videos. So if you would prefer to follow a workout or tutorial online as opposed to a face-to-face class, you will certainly be spoiled for choice. I think we've all seen during lockdown, this has certainly been a popular option for many people, and especially whilst we may be staying at home, it gives you an alternative to those face-to-face sessions going to a gym. So we've got Katie, John, and Azif back with us on this one. I think there's lots to talk about here, guys. So let's start with Katie. And what makes online classes or videos a good option for you?
For me, it's about that flexibility. So I can fit it into morning, lunchtime, evenings, whenever's going to suit me and whatever's going on that day. I can choose then what I'm in the mood for, because I might have thought about doing a weighted exercise class at the beginning of the day, but actually I've had a bit of a stressful day, and I want something that's going to make me feel like I'm not exercising like a dance class. But there is so much out there, online classes that you can subscribe to. There's ones that you can just stream for free. There again, like with apps, there is something for everybody. I really enjoy dance classes just because what I've been able to do throughout lockdown is set up a video call with a few of my friends, and we've been able to follow that class together, whereas it's just a little bit of fun. Normally, if we were to do a dance class in a gym, you wouldn't necessarily push yourself as much because there's other people around you. You might feel self-conscious, but with a close-knit group of friends, for me personally, it's fun just to do something for half an hour where we're dancing and not really worrying about anything else.
Yeah, excellent. And John, what about yourself?
I'm more of an online video person. I think it's just because I don't like well, maybe it's because I think mixture of competitiveness and a little bit of embarrassment, but I have found myself pushing myself a bit more doing the home workouts because I have the ability to change the type of workout. And similar to the smart speaker, I can change the type of person who's delivering that session based on the video. So yeah, I found myself sweating a lot more at home because of the different types of workout. And I think it's literally just because of the choice. And again, that flexibility that Katie mentioned, you can do it whenever you want in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, absolutely. Safe environment, which I think is good for a lot of people. You don't have to worry necessarily what you look like. But as if, what about yourself? What do you look for in terms of online classes or videos?
So for me, my 7-year-old daughter has a regular karate lesson online. She joins a virtual room where she has a session. What I tend to do is mirror what she's doing. And it's a lot harder than you think because you're doing certain exercises that you sort of think you can do, but they do push you and make you sweat. And that is sort of getting my 10 minutes, 15 minutes here and there with her as well. And she pushes me and I push her to do well. There's been a few issues where I've done a bit of sparring sessions with her and I've been kicked in the head or punched in the face, but it comes with it and it's a bit of fun to have. And again, you can sort of subscribe to different exercises, with videos. You can subscribe to certain channels and make sure you get regular sort of updates with the videos that come through. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an expert, there's always something online that one person can actually go on and benefit from.
Yeah, lovely. Sounds like you need to be careful with your daughter. I'm sure it's purely accidental. Well, that's really interesting, guys. We've got a few questions, so I'll pose some of these to you. So, Katie, one of the questions we've had from Abby was, has there been any funny mistakes or funny moments whilst using online fitness classes? I guess the more we use them, the more risk could be posed to ourselves.
Yeah, no, I think I can think of two, to be fair. So the first one is I was following a dance class with some friends, and my husband didn't know that my video camera was on. So he came in and thought he would imitate the dances or try to enhance them to make them better. And my friends had a good old giggle, and there was definitely some screenshots that got shared in some group chats. But yeah, that was really funny. I still laugh to this day about that.
I certainly feel for your partner there. And John, what about you? Any funny moments in terms of those online classes or videos?
Well, I'm lucky that it's just me. So whoever's laughing is just me. But it's always when it comes to, I've got one of those exercise mats, and I'm when I'm pushing myself to do what the online coach is saying, like I have slipped a few times on. So obviously, be careful, be safe when you're doing these online classes. But yeah, I'm thankfully not got people watching me because I have observed other people putting like instances of their online classes, through video conferencing, where they're all like the whole grid line of people, and you're watching people doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, taking a rest when everyone's like working really hard.
Yeah, we've seen that in our colleague sessions, I know for sure. And as if anything funny for you, apart from you getting a few knocks to the body from your daughter?
No, I mean, besides the few knocks, yeah, it's the whole father perception of, Dad, you're not doing it right. Make sure you're doing it right, and just like being embarrassed when we're doing a group session with parents and children, and I'm just embarrassing my 7-year-old daughter, trying to get the right pose or doing the plank wrong, or it's fun, but yeah, it can be embarrassing.
So another question we've had is from Jess, and Jess says, what are your top tips on setting up tech to join an online class? Katie, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on this one.
Yeah, so first of all, make sure there's no cables in the way. You don't want to be falling over during online class. Make sure whatever screen device you're using, that you can see the screen clearly, your connection to the internet is good. Adjust the volume and brightness of your screen to make sure it's optimal to your preferences, and just rock up a little bit early so you're ready to go straight off of the cuff.
Yeah, some good sound advice. I think you need that safe environment. So yeah, thinking about obstacles, and actually I guess the mistake a lot of people can make is the space big enough? Because you can certainly come unstuck. So one of the other questions we've had from Steve here is, what is the best advice for staying safe online when doing online yoga classes, for example? So John, have any thoughts on how people can stay safe? It is an important point. We need to think about, we are potentially connecting with people we may not know and who can see us.
Of course, there's many reputable companies who do these online classes, and I think it's important to make sure you have done research into who's providing them. Like many gyms have been gone to like an online basis during this recent period we've been in. Just making sure that there's a bit of research behind it. You can utilize the internet very handily to make sure that you're using a reliable source. Using yoga as a particular example, you need to be careful of people just trying to pick up video clips of what you're doing and stuff like that. So yeah, totally. Do some research behind it, and preferably keep to reputable trainers who from whether it's specific channels or your local gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sound advice. I think one of the things we, of course, can do is we can turn off our cameras. We don't have to have our camera on. We can still join a class, and being on screen yourself isn't essential. So that's still very much a choice for all of us. Someone mentioned the subscriptions, so subscribing, and obviously we can do that for free, but it's a great way of us keeping up to speed with when the next session is running, and also I guess complementing social media. So if you are following someone in particular in terms of their regular, weekly, daily online classes, you can also think about the social media they may be sharing to keep on top of any sort of top tips and when your next session is coming. So I think for all of us, I don't think workouts from home are going to go away. I think we've learned through lockdown that actually you can fit your workout from home into your busy schedule. So it doesn't mean you have to necessarily get into all your gym kit and venture outside. You can do that from the luxury of your own home. So great. Thanks for the insight there, guys. Really useful. We're now going to move on to the whole social sharing aspect of using tech. And I think this is really important. We've already sort of touched on some of the motivation that comes into this. So yeah, one of the best ways of staying fit is making use of the features that can connect you with friends and family. So we've got Katie and John back with us, familiar faces. So
back again.
Katie, what do you do specifically to connect with your friends and family? Any sort of top tips from your experience?
I guess for social media aspects, what it's mainly allowed me to do is join a community, a fitness community of like-minded people who are looking to achieve the same goals as myself. So it's really a great way of keeping myself motivated and inspired. And I can share a post-workout selfie, a picture of my meal or recipe to sort of share and help with others, although they may not want to see it, but it also helps, I guess, to keep me a little bit accountable along my fitness journey as well. I have used it to sort of post when I'm out and about locally going for walks, so I can send my location to friends and family to say, if you're in the area about, come and join me, this is where I am, come and enjoy, the walk in the park. But yeah, social media for me has definitely helped keep me accountable, but keeps me motivated and inspired really along my health and fitness journey.
Yeah, I like the accountable bit. It's a way of just checking in with yourself and friends and family to make sure that you're keeping on track with your exercise. And John, for you, anything different on the whole aspect of keeping it social and using the features available?
I'm totally echoing what Christian said earlier regarding the competitiveness because, well, as Katie can to attest, I made her share her activity with me because we have the same device. And if anything, it's definitely pushed me to do a bit better because throughout the day, I can see how many steps Katie's done, how many calories she's burned. And then I'm like, I need to beat that. But at the same time, to be fair, it's important to note, like Katie mentioned, like geolocation and geo-tracking and stuff like that. It's important to know there's a secure element to that because you need to make sure you are only sending that with your friends and family and not making it very public because of course people can then see where you are and that's just one of those things to be careful about. But yeah, definitely the competitive side of it is that I find myself getting lots of advice as well. I mentioned before about putting something online following a run because I wasn't sure as to why I had done the exact same distance on 2 different days but had different levels of exhaustion, and I was able to get that advice from people I know. But again, to attest with Katie, is you can join people through different applications who are doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my personal experience is a friend who is very competitive and certainly does more than me is quite often saying to me, I haven't seen much activity, Ross, when are you gonna get moving? And he's always he likes to talk in kilometers and not miles, which I think is his way of saying he's always done more.
There's an element of competitiveness there as well, an element of shaming on you there, Ross.
Yeah,
There is. I've improved, and he's starting to get to know the area where I live because of, like we say, sharing the photos. I think is great, and for me, it's a virtual high five. It's given people that bit of kudos to say, "Well done." Especially, we can't all be super competitive, but staying fit and using the likes of social media, social aspects is, I think, a really good way to give people a nudge and a boost. So that's great. Thanks for sharing. And the final section we're going to talk about, and I think is a really important one, and we very much spoke up till now about the tech that helps us stay fit and healthy, and certainly tech can help in this aspect, and that's staying active and the positive benefit this has on our mental health. So I want to bring in Christian. I know he's really keen to talk about the whole mental health aspect of staying fit and using tech to help do that. So for you, Christian, what does this personally mean to you in terms of being positive for your mental health?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive and was something that I was really keen to talk about. I think there's a lot of information out there, and I think it's quite commonplace to know that exercise boosts endorphins, makes you feel better. It can help boost your mood, even help you relax. So it can really work both ways depending on the type of person that you are and what you do. And I think the reason I felt this was important, we've talked a lot, as you mentioned, Ross, about technology today, how it can really support your goals and help you be active and do all of those things. But I actually think there's a second side to this, which is all around the mental health and the mental well-being aspect. And I think for me personally, when I go out and do any form of activity, I know it's actually going to boost the way I feel. You tend to find that a lot of people will think, do you know what, today I don't quite feel it. Maybe might be a little bit under the weather, maybe just not quite feeling brilliant. And the first thing that they'll drop is that bit of exercise. And actually, rather than thinking, do you know what, I'm really just going to go out and do it and I will feel better afterwards, they tend to then say, do you know what, I'm going to miss that today. And it becomes a bit of a, it just carries on and carries on. So I think it's really important to get out there. I think for me, there's different types of things that I'll do. So sometimes, you can have a really, really, busy day at work, or, you've got a busy day coming, going out and having some of that me time. I talked about obviously the watch earlier. So you're all still there, you know what you're doing. But I think actually having that me time, going out for a run, vitally important. It will really just help me kind of reset, take a step back. And it is that me time. It's the me time that actually I don't get throughout the course of the day. And I think that's very important to me. So that can be any form of walk, run, cycle, class, whatever I'm doing on my own. I then think you've got different activities which are also really, really important for mental health. So team sports, going to the gym with your friends, doing anything, I guess, as a group, that will help you in a different way, because again, it will help you kind of take that step back, but that competitive edge might help. It might kind of allow you to, release some of that pent up energy that you've had during the day. It might be that you want to go off and just have that bit of banter and just talk in a different way and actually engage with like-minded people. So I think the different types of exercise for me all do different things. But like I said right at the start, to support with things like stress, with anxiety, to boost your mood, it's really, really important that we understand all the great stuff that technology can do for us to, I guess, help us manage what we do on a day-to-day basis. But the broader effects, just the general way that we feel, I know for me, it makes the world of difference. The days I can get out and do something, I do feel better. I'm always so grateful when I've done it, no matter how big or small. And it really does either set me up for the day or finish the day in the right way. And like I say, for all of those benefits that we've spoken through today, I thought it was a really, really important message to get across, that, whilst it's going to help your physical well-being and physical health, it's also going to support in a mental way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think from my personal experience, but also talking for many people who have been working from home, and I think obviously times are changing, more people will tend to work from home. But what I find is you don't have the daily commute. So actually, you probably find you're spending more time working in, you're looking at the screen. And for me, the environment doesn't change unless you get yourself out and do something and get active. So yeah. I think whether it's a gap in your diary during the day, whether it's the last thing in the day, you really need that change of environment, because otherwise it's just the same four walls. So absolutely. I think, as you say, brilliant, awesome.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ross, it's not just, I think, for you, it's for the people in your household. I think we've seen more families going out for walks, and maybe it's for just that change of scenery, but actually, rather than being in that environment, getting yourself out, getting your family out. And again, we're not talking about, this doesn't always need to be really long runs, cycles, gym work. It can be a walk around the block, but getting out a breath of fresh air, it makes the world of difference if you can, look at really factoring that in and using all of the tech to make sure that you can get that as part of your day.
Yeah, totally. And I think my family definitely need a break from me, and probably vice versa. So, getting yourself outside for that reason, we all need a bit of space. And like you said, the big one for me as well is, headspace. Gives you time to think about other things and perhaps forget about stuff. Getting that work-life balance is so important for everyone. So absolutely. Thanks, Christian. Really appreciate you sharing your personal thoughts there. So this brings us to the end of today's Health and Tech live session. If you would like to access more content and resources from the Digital Eagles, then simply search online for Barclays Digital Eagles. I'd like to thank Christian, Katie, John and Azif for joining me today and sharing your thoughts, your personal experiences, some of those embarrassing moments. But that's been so useful, really insightful, and we hope everyone watching us found it useful. We really thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon. See you later.